You tried to get me to eat pie, but I think, well, I don't know if the mic's caught it either way, so. I don't know. You'll have to look through.
Right. It's just me eating pie for 9 minutes.
Oh my god, you're like that Kineticon guy. Come watch me eat a rotisserie
Come watch
chicken.
me eat an entire Hershey pie
With no commentary.
with no commentary.
Except you had commentary, so.
With slight commentary. All right, do I say something?
Remember when we were supposed to have a podcast? Podcast. Welcome to the next level. I mean, welcome to the podcast.
Hooray.
We did it. Welcome to the podcast. I am Tory, this is Lewis, and together we make LEM'n'TEA. And if the camera were to, if you're watching, if the camera were to pan out a little bit more, there would be an extra tea because your cat's here watching. This is our first recording in front of a live studio audience.
She doesn't usually care about any of this shit, but it's just because it's because we just ate something for one.
Oh yeah, yes.
Sorry, you didn't.
No, nope, not on camera.
Yeah.
Good old mukbang.
Why are you so concerned about that?
I'm not. I just like to point it out. I point out things ad nauseum all the time.
Not the mukbang thing.
Hmm?
Do you not want to eat on camera?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I don't want to. No.
Okay.
Not really.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Everyone's different. I didn't know if it was something that.
Not for free.
Oh.
No, I mean, no, I'm just kidding.
What?
Anything for a price.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, no, I just don't like really eating on camera, and it's funny because when Josh and I have dinner together, he doesn't like. I'm not saying this is about myself. I think just in general, but he doesn't like mouth noises. So we always have to watch something to drown out the noises when we eat. So maybe I have that instilled where it's like nobody should be seeing me eat on camera or ever or something. I don't know.
Okay. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with.
This is our truth-telling episode. We're telling our truths.
I thought we were always telling our truths.
But like the truths and the depths of our.
Oh yeah.
Or whatever.
We're spilling all.
This is spilling the tea. Let's go. Spill that tea, sis.
A good segment.
Pop off.
Be a good like segment name.
Yeah.
Spilling the tea.
Absolutely. So
I was
anyway,
looking over there because Tiny is trying to go behind
know
this.
our live studio audience is distracted by something else.
That's like a canvas portrait of my kids.
Yeah.
When they were like just born.
Like baby, like regular sized babies, because they were not regular sized babies when they were born.
Right. And I know it's because like there's something about cats in like tight spaces, right? They love it.
Yeah.
But half of me thinks it's because she hates them and wants to knock the picture over.
Oh.
And that might be it.
Oh, I hope not. You think after 6 years she'd get used to them?
They're not leaving.
No, right. It's like when I used to look at my brother when he was born down at the crib and apparently say to my mom, he's still here. Not even as a question. I just say it factually. Like there was no inflection. I would just look and be like, he's still here.
Wow. I can't believe it.
That's weird. Oh, the store must be closed.
The baby store?
Yeah, the baby store. So.
When I was
a young boy.
But for real.
Yeah.
When I was a young boy.
Yeah.
My father and mother took me to the city to go to a like Big Brother, like learning how to be a Big Brother class or whatever.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
It was fine. I like made this little T-shirt for him, like onesie thing, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was cool. And then
nice.
a week later, I think, or maybe even like pretty soon after, my mom was filling out some information that she needed for the hospital for when she was induced. And I had asked her like, oh, is this what you need to have the baby? And she's like, yeah, I need that paperwork. So I ripped it.
You told me that before.
I ripped it.
What did she say?
She said, son, was that a Beyblade? Because you ripped that shit.
Oh, yeah, I'm totally sure
Boom,
your
boom,
mom
boom.
said that.
Yeah, no, she said, she started crying.
God. All right, I think we're done speaking our truths today. Wow. Unfortunately for you, you still had to take your brother home anyway. You made him a onesie.
I did.
Who was that onesie supposed to be, for you?
No.
Right, so what was the point of the onesie? You gotta put it on somebody.
True.
What was your plan there?
I don't know.
Baby Lewis?
I was 4.
Toddler Lewis?
I was 4 and I didn't have great ideas, but I had some ideas.
Boy, were those ideas
Sounds like a Trump
ideas.
thing, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have great ideas, but I did have some ideas.
It's like those my favorite kind of new backhanded compliments where instead of saying like that movie was bad, it was like, that sure was the movie I ever saw.
Yeah.
There's things like that. I love that.
The movie I ever saw. Yeah.
That sure was a song that had noises. I don't know. I love obtuse comments like that.
Yeah, there was a lot of notes.
Mm-hmm. I liked when they said words.
Yeah. The dialogue was very... It was spoken.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
It sure did use a spoken language.
That's right.
Yeah. So anyway, welcome. Anyway, we are on episode 37. Holy moly, we are now in our upper 30s. It's like when Josh showed me. I told you this. I didn't tell the people this. My husband really likes to look at like boomery Facebook things, except for like unironic reasons. And he was going through this slew of this is now this year's old. Do you feel old yet?
Yeah.
And so one of the ones he had shown me was that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is 30 years old this year.
Do you feel old yet?
Yes, every time I'm reminded of my my nostalgic past.
Do you feel old yet?
Can you feel it, Mr. Krabs?
He's really feeling it.
He is really feeling it.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, 37.
Boomer memes.
Yes, boomer memes.
You know what they say?
And Minions too, yeah.
The years stop coming and they don't stop coming.
Oh, I know. So depending on when this episode comes out, in this timeline of the world, Steve Harwell, the former lead singer of Smash Mouth, because unbeknownst to us, they have a new one. He is in hospice care. Not to start this podcast off very bleakly, but we could just get it out of the way. So he's in hospice care for liver failure due to alcoholism. So, and I know we kind of like, he became kind of like a laughing stock at that one concert, like right just before he retired.
You mean the one he did for like the like motorcycle rally during COVID?
Yes. Well, maybe it wasn't that. I know that was one of the ones he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was something he threw some sort of on stage tantrum.
He did have a tantrum. Yeah, that's right.
But I don't know if it was that motorcycle one or not. And then he was basically like, "Screw you guys, I'm going home." And then he retired.
And he retired forever.
So it kind of sucks that was like his blaze of glory kind of fizzled out. I mean, right. And Smash Mouth has more songs than All Star. I do know a couple other ones.
Name them.
Believer.
Great.
And Walking on the Sun. Oh, there's another one I can't remember the name of. Oh no, this is my self-induced hurdle.
I can't remember it either, so you're fine. No, that's wrong. Sorry.
Wrong answer. What about you? Do you remember other ones besides those two and that third one I can't name?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, you did great.
Thanks. Perfect.
That was good.
Thanks. So anyway, yeah, it just always sucks to see someone kind of have a fall from grace like that.
Oh, he fell.
Off the world.
He did. His world's on fire.
How about yours? I know, it's horrible. But anyway, I mean, he brought us All Star, and so...
That was in 2 movies.
And that's the song that keeps on coming, and it doesn't stop coming, and it doesn't stop coming, and it doesn't stop coming. If you haven't listened to the 10-minute version of all-star, but it doesn't stop coming. You're doing a disservice to yourself in your free time.
Don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming. And they don't stop coming.
And then another celebrity who passed reflective of childhood was Bob Barker at the ripe young age of 99.
Ding, 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 ding. Come on down.
Yeah, you're under $1. You're the closest to $1 you can be. I actually like that joke that came out of his death. Yeah. That was a funny one. People can be funny about it sometimes.
It's because I think everyone started saying it.
Mm-hmm. And then, one person was clever and said it, and then some person probably stole it and then reposted it as if it was their own and got more likes. That's usually how these things go. It's funny that like the people the most sad about Bob Barker's passing are people our age. That seems, I mean, there's like older people who are, but it seems universally it's like, oh, Bob Barker was my childhood, and I spent all my sick days with him.
That's what it was.
That is like that.
For
that's
me,
what
that
people
was
were
exactly
saying with Jerry Springer too.
Yes,
Jerry Springer got the exact same comments of
Maury
people saying,
too.
Maury's alive. He's alive.
I know, but what I'm saying
don't
is,
jinx it.
Listen, he's old, okay?
I know he is, but don't jinx it.
But he was part of that trio.
I also watched Steve Wilkos, and he was kind of hit or miss. Because it's like
a lot miss for me.
He was like always angry enough to like throw a chair, and it's like, okay, I get it, you're throwing a chair. Oh my god, it's Steve's throw a chair move.
Yeah.
We have a guest still.
She wants me to pet her.
Okay, she doesn't want those plates?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, you are a dad, so your priorities are your priorities. Aw, there's a cat being pet off camera. It's very sweet. But anyway, I feel like universally more people our age were sad about this 99, almost centurion man passing away.
He was part of a lot of people's childhoods.
Yeah.
I was sick a lot as a kid, and I spent a lot of like mornings like waiting for The Price is Right to come on so I could watch it. It was awesome.
It's funny too, because as a kid, like it didn't hit me until later in life, but it's like that is a show entirely about consumerism.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, I didn't really know that. I was like, it's a fun guessing game when you're a child, and it's a fun guessing game when you're an adult.
Yeah.
Shout out to Plinko, by the way, the best Price is Right game.
Ooh.
It's the best one.
You like that one the best?
I do. I have a shirt. I got it at Marshall's once.
I have seen it. Yes.
I love that shirt. The Yodeling Man one's also a good one. Mm-hmm. There's other iconic ones I cannot think of right now. Like, Plinko is really like what I think of like the iconic.
I think anyone would totally agree with you. Like, that is the game for Price is Right.
And it's a simple game, based on dumb luck. I love the noises that it made. Little clink, clink, clinks.
Yeah,
so satisfying.
Right.
And he was also obviously a staunch animal advocate too. He
spay and neuter your pets.
Yeah, I didn't know what those meant as a child. I really didn't. And I always dreaded when he said that, because that means Price is Right is over, and now some soap opera is going to be on.
Yeah, that's usually when it came on, right?
Sometime around there, or like the news, or something that like I couldn't care less about as a child. So,
dude,
or maybe as an adult too.
He was also in the movie Happy Gilmore.
Oh my god!
And
yeah,
I love that role. It's still really funny to me to see him.
I always feel like, even in the name of comedy, like seeing like, what's the word I'm looking for? Vulnerable people like get beat up or something, even if it's for like slapstick. So like I saw like poor old Bob getting beat up, and I was like, this is supposed to be funny, but I feel so bad.
He was getting punched pretty.
And then he punched back several times.
He did. He was a fucking menace.
And he called Adam Sandler a bitch.
Price is Wrong, bitch.
Yes. Oh, that was Adam Sandler too.
Yes.
Yeah. So funny. So good. So it's nice that he had that sort of like sense of humor to poke fun at himself too. But yeah, after he retired, he kind of just like became a retired old man, which was good.
Yeah.
What do you think of what do you think of Drew Carey as a host?
I don't hate him. He's not like my favorite comedian, but I think he's funny enough, and I think he has credibility for like doing things out of nowhere, because he used to host Who's Line?
Yes.
And that's a great show for improv, and I think he's just somebody that can be, on his feet when it comes to
I don't think I've really seen him in action too much, so I don't know. Because I don't know how much improv it really is needed for a show like Price is Right.
So Bob Barker,
Rip the legend.
Rip the legend.
But
Bye.
thank you for being a notch on my mom's death pool. That's still going.
Will you tell me how much that nets her? Did she
It's
get?
well, I don't know how much it nets. I'll ask her next time. But and it's how many celebrities at the end of the year pass away. So it's not like who gets Bob Barker and you get something. It's like who gets the most at the end. She says there's 12 people that you have to pick, and that there's been a couple times where people got 9 of their picks.
Wow.
Which is like, if you pick anybody, like my mom this year literally picked the world's oldest woman, and she died this year. So point for my mom. So I guess we're ending our talk on Bob Barker.
Bob Barker died.
Yes, he did, and Rip the Legend, which apparently is you say my catchphrase now.
That was
just because I like to say things like obnoxiously frequently.
Rip the legend.
Rip the Legend.
Safety girls.
It's going down.
Hey.
I'm on the next level.
Next.
Level.
I can't do it.
I know. It's I think it's something only aespa can do. Speaking of which, here's my beautifully not at all awkward segue. So we record these on Saturdays for you all. We're gonna give you inside scoop of how this all works, but we're a day late because we saw aespa. This is, I guess, technically a K-pop corner, right? This will be
whatever you want.
This will be my K-pop corner. Hello, this is a K-pop corner, which is also a review of a concert we just went to less than 24 hours ago, or 24 hours ago, I guess it's going. We went to see aespa in Boston because they went to Boston, which was like, all right, cool.
Kind of weird, right?
Very weird. So this was your second ever K-pop concert after Dreamcatcher.
That's right.
And I mean, I do have points I want to talk about with it, but what was your overall experience with it? What'd you think?
I think it was great. I had a really good time. They were awesome. They were very coordinated.
Yeah.
Each of them got a solo.
Yes, which I didn't expect, and I actually don't know if those songs are. I don't think they're new. I don't know though. I'm a bad. Their fan name is Mai, which is not confusing at all. I'm bad Mai.
Mai?
Yeah. So.
I didn't know that.
That's okay.
I still enjoyed the show.
Oh yeah. No, I did too. So they were in Boston at the MGM Fenway. Can we just talk about?
Sure.
So, I had the most trouble ever trying to figure out how to buy tickets. So you ended up figuring it out, and we got them on resale. And the way that it's Fenway, MGM Fenway is a 3-tiered concert venue, and so we were at the tippity top, and our seats, we were also by a bar, which was actually cool, and I didn't take advantage of it all. But we're going back there in a couple weeks, so maybe we will, and we'll talk about that next time. And our seats were not cushiony folding seats. They were on this bar at the very top of the highest you could be, which at first I thought was kind of a bad vantage point, but it actually turned out being pretty good because the way they had the monitors, we could see it was pretty straight on what was happening, which was good.
It wasn't a bad spot.
Problem is, I'm still not 100% convinced that those were our seats.
I'm not sure. So Rail 300 didn't, or whatever.
It was Rail 300. The problem is they gave us seat numbers as if it actually meant that there was a seat, because we were in 301. So apologies. Nobody ever came and said, hey, you're in our spot. And totally, if somebody had said that, we would have been like, you're right, my bad. But nobody ever came. And so I don't know if it's just because I don't know if it's just for any reason or they really didn't come. But if we took your spot, our bad. Because I really don't know. I think we were meant to be standing because we had. I've never seen it set up like this. So our place had a bar top,
yes,
tabletop with individual high chairs, which was cool. I'd never seen before. I just don't think they were meant for us, but
Nobody was there though.
But nobody said.
And that's not to say like nobody was seeing the show.
Oh.
Nobody was
in our area.
Like in our area, nobody was coming up to us and saying like, "Oh, this is my seat." Like nobody said that.
Well, then we had confusion too, and we were like, "Oh, isn't there supposed to be a person?" You were asking. You were like, "Oh, isn't there supposed to be a person who works here who's supposed to help us?" And I was like,
"Yeah,
yep."
They weren't there.
No, I saw somebody once, and they were talking to somebody else, but that was like it was like 3/4 of the way through the show, so it didn't really matter. I don't know. I liked our seats, although I'm gonna say it is because. Unlike Dreamcatcher, where for the most part we sat, because the vibe was, I think, a little more chill for Dreamcatcher, because they're so like goofy and odd and weird that there's like hype, but you can kind of chill from your seat. But the second, like before aespa even came out on stage, people were already standing, and of course, like we're sat behind the 2 tallest people in our row, so I'm like, well, now I have to stand. I was not standing at all that whole time. I was on my knees on that chair the entire time, including for sitting. I was just sitting on my leg because I couldn't stay. The way that the chair was, it was too close to the bar, and like I was gonna still be too short to stand on the bar, on the like the round bar on the chair.
Yeah. That's what I was standing on.
So I was kneeling the whole time
God.
on a chair at the aespa concert. So.
Yo, okay, I didn't know that.
So it's a good thing that I'm still. I mean, yesterday was the youngest I have been. Now that I am today years old, so my knees are fine. But like, it was a 2-hour concert. I literally was just like sitting on my knees or sitting on my legs when the recording parts were happening, and then standing on my knees when they came out. That was my concert experience.
Okay.
That's why the whole setup was weird, but we did have a good vantage point overall. We saw a lot.
Yeah, I agree. It was good.
And I'm glad you got to stand on your feet.
I got to stand on my feet, but see, the worst part was that it's a small little like metal circle. Mm-hmm. Not very big.
Yeah.
So the area to stand on was very small.
Yeah.
So
right.
It just hurt after a long time.
You just felt like a perched bird.
It hurt. Yeah.
I felt bad too because I knew at one point because the chairs are cushiony. They're high top like bar chairs, but they have a very curved back. And I knew that my chair was like right impeding into your space, but the person next to me was also doing that to me. So I was like, I can't push against it. It was a very odd. I keep saying it's odd and it's good, but it really was odd but good. It was just a weird. I've never seen and I never had been in the MGM Fenway before, so
yeah.
Space-wise, for how new aespa is, I do think that was a very appropriate venue rather than something a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Best to undersell yourself than oversell yourself.
It was still pretty big.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's 3-tiered. It was sold out. It was a great experience. I want to give a shout out to the girl sitting next to me. She was awesome, and she was like the best part of like K-pop fandom Twitter, in the sense that like she was saying things like I only have seen in text.
Not kidding.
I've never heard a human say it out loud, and it was so like, and it made sense for her because she made a comment too about like how it was good that this concert was happening on a Saturday, so she didn't have to wake up for school. And I'm like, oh. And I'm like,
at that point, all of your suspicion was confirmed, right?
Well, I knew she was young, obviously young. Like, I don't know. I saw moms or like parental figures and stuff.
No, I get it,
but we were definitely, I think, on the older skew of attendees.
Yeah.
And I forget sometimes that like if they're being immature, it's like, well, they're a bunch. I call them a bunch of 12-year-olds or whatever. I forget that that's the case. Like, actually,
that's what I'm saying.
It's so weird.
Your suspicion was that they were 12 years old, or like you say it jokingly, right?
Yeah.
But they are 12 years old.
But there's truth in jest. Yeah.
Right.
But she was so funny though. Like she made it so much better. On your side, you had the loudest Karina fan
I've ever heard.
Like screaming like I thought her like throat was gonna tear open and bleed.
It's like how you would scream in like a horror film.
Oh
like
my, yeah.
That much, like
it was And so the girl next to me and I, we just like looked at each other and laughed. And she said like, oh, I wonder if who her bias is. And I was like, yeah, I think it might be Winter or something. It was great. And her bias was also Winter because you both in surround sound were like so hyped when Winter came on and did something remotely attractive, which is pretty much the whole time anyway.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah. Because she was saying stuff like, they really said vocalists though, or something like that. Like, I was like, it sounds much cool. Like, if I were to say it, I'd sound like, what's up, fellow youngsters or whatever. Steve Buscemi.
How do you do?
Fellow kids or whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It doesn't sound natural from me. So.
But she's 12.
I'm glad she's. No, I don't think she's 12. But I'm glad she said it. But shout out to her for. And that's kind of the thing with K-pop concerts too, is you feed off the energy of each other. And I mean, that's a case for most concerts, but I feel like with K-pop being so fandom like based anyway.
Can I tell you one thing that she said that made me fucking laugh?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I was dying laughing.
Yeah.
A lot of things made me fucking start laughing. She said, like, not me falling in love.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, at some points too, she was like bowing next to me when Winter came on.
Slapping the table. It was
oh my God.
Hilarious.
She was great. And like.
She was K-pop stan Twitter.
The best of.
Like, the best of K-pop stan Twitter in human form.
Yes. Yeah, she was like a hyped up, wholesome cinnamon roll. She really like she was great. And then meanwhile, you had like someone being axe murdered next to you, screaming to Karina for help.
Yeah, help!
Oh my God,
help!
It was so funny.
My heart.
But yeah, so shout out to her.
She was great.
Shout out to both of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were all like the other one was very, very vocal, but
yes.
That's a concert. Like that's what you gotta get at a concert. Mm-hmm. And if you don't, it's a fucking lame ass concert. So
yeah, you had remembered literally like within the hour that we were going into the concert venue about Dreamcatcher's light stick that you own,
mm-hmm.
And how you should have brought it, and it's because luckily it's not taken offensively because K-pop at the merch booth for aespa it's $55 and they were also charging $2 for batteries. They can afford batteries. SM Entertainment, you can afford batteries.
It's quite expensive, and then like
they're intricate though, like they're well made, so I understand it. But and all K-pop light sticks are like that.
If aespa was one of my favorites,
mm-hmm.
I would say probably yes.
It's hard to top a staff like Dreamcatchers that you can make as long as you want, though.
Pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, but. So it's not taken offensively. I don't think it ever has, which is good. But people have other light sticks from other artists that they like. So they, instead of, if they can't afford to get an aespa light stick, they will bring one from a different artist.
It was a lot.
There was a lot, to the point where aespa actually did a segment where they were asking people like what their light sticks were and stuff too, which is good because some of them I didn't know.
That was a cool little segment because it was kind of like
mm-hmm.
off the cuff, and she just kind of came out and
just
was like gelling with the crowd, which was
she was like,
really
which one
fun
is
to
that?
see.
And there was a lot of people from different, which is why being a fan of like not just one singular group is so much more fun.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you got Twice, you got SHINee, you got BTS, you got 17. Funniest part was when they were asking what the V light stick was, and
Wavy, right?
It was for Wavy. And then they asked somebody else what their red light stick was, and they said NCT. And both of those are artists in their company.
Yes.
And they didn't know that they had different light sticks, which is hilarious. And then
I saw the clip of that today on Twitter.
Yes, yeah, I retweeted that.
It was very good.
It was so good, which also shows that there's just so many groups in companies sometimes, and NCT in particular has like
right.
They're going to make I think it's going to be a 6th subunit. Focused in Japan because Wavy's focused in China, and then everybody else is in Korea. Yeah, that was one of the highlights too, is them not knowing that their group mates their company mates have different light sticks. So
it's kind of crazy. It really did show, like you said, like you can be in the industry and still like there's so many people that are in the same industry.
Mm-hmm.
It's just hard to keep it all straight.
Yeah. So that part was cool and very educational. I appreciated that.
It was neat.
As per their, they have one of the most elaborate storylines in K-pop as far as just a group concept. So For those of you who don't know who aespa are, I'm going to give you hopefully the most abridged version I can. aespa is a 4-member girl group with members Karina, Winter, Giselle, and Ning Ning. And they have AI counterparts called the Novice.
That's their Novice.
And they lead and aespa follows.
Gotcha.
And it's basically kind of Avatar-y. Like Blue People Avatar-y. Kind of, sort of. They don't have to like mind meld with them or anything. They're just counterparts that exist. And with their Novice, they must go into this world called Kwangya to defeat a villainess called the Black Mamba. I don't know what she wants. I don't know what she's after, but she is bad, and we must dislike her and root for aespa and the Novice. And they feed off of energy, which is A-E-nergy.
Yep.
And their concert was named, and I still don't know what sync means. It's S-Y-N-K. I partly thought that was their initials, and then I realized that there's nobody named S or Y in the group. So
maybe it's just a cooler spelling of sync.
Sync. So it's called the Sync Hyperline concert. And I made a joke, and I was like, you know, like the MBTA, like, you know, the yellow, the purple line and the orange line, and if there's a purple line, I don't remember.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, good. Okay. I was like, yeah, maybe that's like their T or something. And then they were like, it's the link between the real world and the novice world. And
yep.
I said, oh, it was right. So the hyperline is the T, basically, like T, like the transit system here in Massachusetts.
The T.
Mm-hmm.
The shit that doesn't work half the time.
I mean, if aespa was running it,
and it would.
We would have a different story.
Right.
So that was the name of their tour. And we were the first stop, which was really cool.
That was really neat.
It was really neat. They performed, and the good thing about them too is that they don't have like a full length album. They just have a couple of mini albums and singles. So they pretty much performed almost every song that they've ever released. Some I forgot existed, like YOLO. I was laughing my ass off because all of a sudden we were all just spelling YOLO, and I was like, what are we doing?
I saw you.
It was so funny. They performed Hold Tight for the song from the Tetris documentary movie.
Yes.
Which is one of my favorites, and I love Tetris also. So
that one I was really surprised. Yeah. Because one, it's an English song,
but so is Better Things.
Oh, that's right.
Their newest one.
And they did that one.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a couple full English songs as well. Besides, I think they have one or two other ones. And they're kind of, I think, their company's breakthrough for the American market, because they call it the Western market, but really it's mostly America.
Yeah.
Because they don't really have a dedicated girl group who's trying to break into the U.S. market. So I think aespa is it. Following the Blackpink, BTS, Monsta X, I don't know, Super M trend, I guess. I'm trying to think of others. Where suddenly everybody cares about making it big in America, even though America is not at a level of caring for foreign acts for the most part, if it's not like Latin acts. And even then, people would rather listen to honky tonk badonkadonk. So I'm just saying, we're pretty rigid. Like, you go to Europe, you go to South America, and you get like music of any language being played, because they only care about like the vibes and just like how languages. It's nice, like you want to kind of know what they're singing about, but it's not like the primary concern. America's never quite been there, unless it's kind of jokey-ish, like songs like the Macarena and stuff, or Gangnam Style.
Yeah.
But anyway, long story short, that's aespa's crusade, I guess, now, is to be their company's like push into the market. So they have a few English songs. Giselle knows fluent English.
She does.
Yeah, which is impressive, because like I don't think she was raised in America. I don't think, but she was kind of like the spokesperson through the show. Ning Ning did good too with her English. And everybody else tried very hard. They were very cute. They were cute. They said some things in English.
They did.
So that was good.
It was nice.
Yeah. They all had solo stages. I woke up this morning. I wrote this in a tweet. My throat hurt so bad because I was losing my mind over Ning Ning, who is my favorite in the group. She's ridiculous. and I know your favorite is Winter, who came out with an electric guitar in the beginning, and I looked over at you and was like, hey.
She was neat.
She was just neat.
The whole thing was really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't want to, like, say, like, one person did better than the other or whatever, but, like...
I think that the individual stages that they had also highlighted their...
They were cool.
Yeah.
They were all very, very different,
Mm-hmm.
and they had different outfits and, like...
Yeah.
All this stuff that made them unique.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, they did their performance where they were together. So
yes,
that was cool.
See, the only problem of our viewing experience was in between when they were doing costume changes, there was a video playing on the screen that was blocked by a big ass speaker that we could not see.
I was grateful for the speaker, but
right?
not grateful for the placement.
Yeah, no. Like they had two other big screens like tilted to audiences up at like the upper levels or even down below, but then there was one straight on that.
I wish they would have played that same video
everything?
on all the TVs that we could see them.
So maybe someone
Would've been
recorded
cool.
it all, but it was the interludes in between like a solo stage and then a whole bunch of other songs and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were awesome.
It was really good.
It was. They all sing live too. They sound ridiculous. They're incredible live.
They're very, very, very good live.
Like
They are very
Winter's
good
just like, I guess I got to do my 17th high note of the night, and it's like
slams it out.
It's incredible.
That was a very, very good show,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of if you like K-pop or not. I just think that they're very talented.
Yeah.
So
They're very talented. They know how to like fill a stage. Like they had backup dancers for some of the songs, but I feel like they did really well on their own, just on stage also.
remember all that fucking glitter or not glitter? All that those fucking ribbons. Or,
Oh yeah, they lit
what is
up.
it
They
called?
did like a confetti cannon.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like at the end of the show. It was like
at the beginning.
like 2/5 of the way. And they got stuck in the overhead like bars and everything, and so I was like, oh, I feel really bad for the people looking straight on, their views covered by stupid streamers.
I know. But it did look cool when
From
the
our
lights hit
angle,
it.
it looked awesome, and they were catching the light, and they were
Right.
really cool.
It was kind of cool.
So there were fan favorite songs. Black Mamba, I think Hold Tight's a fan favorite song. Girls, Sab. Oh my God, don't you know I'm Savage? Oh my God, as soon as Oh my God came on, Winter's part in Savage.
Yep.
Everybody freaked out. It was so cool hearing it in person.
People losing their fucking minds.
Yeah, so cool.
So great.
Arguably, I would say that the songs that got the most response were Spicy and Next Level. Especially Spicy. People were so loud. Like the fan chants were so loud. It was so cool. Too
spicy.
It was awesome. Yeah, that kind of energy is really cool. And energy, yeah. There's definitely a big difference to me between like the vibe of the Dreamcatcher concert and the vibe of the aespa concert. Like, I think they were hyped in their own different ways, but I feel I still like how kind of casual like Dreamcatchers was by comparison. They didn't like change costumes or any, like they stayed on stage the whole time.
Yeah.
Which I really admire. That's a lot to do in a foreign country without any sort of break in between.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I think they're, like you said, they're completely different. So like you go to a Dreamcatcher show for a very specific vibe.
Yeah.
And then aespa has a bunch of different kind of vibes.
Yeah.
Mostly like energetic, high octane,
Energetic.
like energetic. So.
But yeah, it was
You said
great.
you had some notes from the night.
Oh yeah, I've been going through them.
Good.
Yes.
Okay.
One of my other notes. Okay, so like I really liked all the costumes that they had, the outfits that they had. I'm confused by one of them when they came out. It was after Giselle's solo stage, and she had like this red, sort of like
Yeah, that was great.
like, it's not flamenco, but you know what I mean. Like they kind of like asymmetrical, like hot red dress with like the red bow or whatever. And then everybody else came out in their outfits, and like Winter's got some like Y2K like baggy pants thing going on, but then you got Ning Ning in like this tiny micro skirt and like a tube top. It was very strange, like because before that they all looked kind of similar in like a common style, but this one was just like
They were very coordinated.
wear whatever. All right, it's time. Go on, wear whatever. But I don't know, like that was a tiny skirt for Ning Ning. I felt kind of bad. I mean, she looked great, but like by comparison to everybody else, she was like not really that covered.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That was a little weird to me.
Do you think they have agency over what they wear?
I guess it depends. In G Idol, Shua, she was very opposed to like heavy makeup and dyeing her hair, and her company actually was like, okay, so it can happen.
Shout out Cube.
I wouldn't. They kicked out Hyuna. Don't shout at a company. It's the mistake of company stands. You start treating them like real people. Not the stands, the companies. Maybe the stands also. But anyway, so it depends. I don't know if they have super agency or if they're super shy. But that was the only like strange part to me, but the rest of the concert was really great. Even that part was great because it was just nice to look at her. So beggars can't be choosers, right? I guess.
Can't be. Trying to be, but can't be.
Also, shout out to Karina for being my absolute like fellow pseudo OCD kindred spirit, where the encore stage happened,
Yeah.
and everybody just decided we're gonna throw stuffed animals everywhere, and like it was funny because you would see a couple points where like some got too close to the girls and they like jumped in surprise or whatever. But Karina and her cute little beret were just like, she was just going around.
She was organizing.
She was putting all of the stuffed animals into this nice, neat pile. I'm like, I would do that too. I love that. I love a relatable idol. That's great. Like, and I guess she really likes Crayon Shin-chan, because somebody threw a giant Shin-chan plushie up there at one point.
Yep.
And I was like, that's kind of random, but I guess one of them must like it. Oh, and then the part where they had their dancers come and take a bow, and some people had thrown like little headbands and stuff, and they were putting them on the dancers and stuff. It was so cute.
It was nice.
Yeah. I have to wonder if they actually they can't possibly take all those plushies back to Korea with them.
No.
Maybe they
I'm not sure who would get them, but
they could donate it to like a children's hospital or something.
yeah, maybe they do.
Maybe, but or maybe they're like, pick your favorite. That's the only one you can take back
take
home to Korea. Yeah, but and then also K-pop's for the gays. Shout out to the lesbians on the floor seats who were holding up the lesbian flag at the concert. I was a little concerned that they would throw it to aespa because they haven't, like, unlike Dreamcatcher, the aespa hasn't really made their stance clear, so I feel like it would be uncomfortable for them if that sort of thing happened. Meanwhile, you go to the Dreamcatcher concert, people were throwing flags, people were throwing meme pictures of Yuyeon and like making stupid face, like we all have a similar, like, that was the vibe and stuff. So that's why I'm glad that it just stayed with stuffed animals that were being thrown. But
yeah,
but K-pop's for the gays, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Oh, they won't.
Good.
They won't.
So anyway, concert summation: stan talent, stan aespa.
Stan talent, stan aespa. Stand or sit.
Or
who
kneel.
knows where the fuck you are supposed to go.
Or kneel.
Or kneel for 2 hours.
Yeah, it was fun.
Cool.
Yeah. My niece fell asleep a few times.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun.
That was happening to my feet. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
It hurts.
So it's like cool in theory, but it's like I kind of just wish maybe there was a bigger foothold for
Yes.
the chairs. What is this, like Survivor?
Because they have to know that people are going to do that. Like,
I think they just assume everybody's above 5'6", and that was my problem. And then everybody else is like, they'll be fine, and you're not. So send some feedback to Fenway.
I hope the next seats we have are clearly labeled and
well, we'll know where to go now.
identifiable.
This was actually kind of a cool trial run for a concert we're going to be going to in 2 weeks' time from now.
That's kind of nuts.
Yeah. We went from going never before to have gone twice in a month.
Pretty cool.
And I do also love more not concerts. Yeah, well, more concerts happening in Boston, because as a way to save money for myself, like I made an oath to myself this year that I wasn't going to go see a concert outside of the state.
There you go.
So I'm really glad that aespa came to Boston. The same day that they came, Purple Kiss announced that they were also going to do a tour in the United States, and one of them was also for Boston on Halloween, which sounds so cool, but like,
Yeah.
It's not one that I'm going to be going to, unfortunately.
I have a problem with that one because it's going to be crazy in Boston.
Yeah.
Like insanity.
Yeah. But the idea of listening to Zombie live
That would be so fun.
would be so fun.
If I lived in the city.
Right.
Where I didn't have to like really travel that much, you know?
Or anywhere with like a more accessible train.
If the trains ran late.
Yeah. Yeah, 10:55 is not late enough.
It's just because we don't live in the city.
Mm-hmm.
So like they have to go with demand, and there's not always people who want to go at that hour.
Yeah. So that's kind of a bummer. But so we're not going to that, but we're eagerly awaiting ticket prices for Everglow, who also announced their US tour happening after like 2 years of doing nothing.
Oh, they were doing stuff. Come on.
Not really.
They were slaying.
Slay all day.
Slay.
Great song.
Oh my God,
Extreme
yeah.
slay. But yeah, I'm excited for Everglow because usually their songs are all very hype and like amazing for I think a live atmosphere. It's gonna be like hyped.
That show's gonna be fucking amazing.
The one closest
fucking
to us
amazing.
is gonna be in Connecticut, but we're surrounded by small states like Rhode Island and Connecticut anyway, that it sometimes to me it's just like an extension of Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was New Haven. Close enough.
Hey.
So Everglow.
Got no
forever,
time for haters.
Mm-hmm. And got no time for base daters.
Got no time for base daters.
La dee la da dee da
La
da.
da da. La la dee da da.
So anyway, thank you to these K-pop groups and companies that are taking pity on my wallet and saying, hey, you know, Boston, it's a pretty good gig. You can get some lobster rolls.
Boston is a good gig. Listen.
Go to Harvard.
Come to Harvard, pack your car in Harvard yard. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Did you have anything you wanted to add for your aespa experience?
My aespa experience.
Your experience.
My experience.
This is so dumb.
Experience. Yeah.
This was the kind of thing we were doing yesterday too, with like quoting spicy and saying next level every 2 minutes.
That was me though.
Yeah, but I picked up on it afterwards.
Okay, good.
Like a disease.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Whatever. But anyway, do you have anything to add to your experience?
Just that it was a next level experience.
There it is. It is.
It was a next level experience,
Mm-hmm.
right? It was not an illusion.
Oh yeah, that was a good hype
There
song
were
too.
very, very beautiful girls there. Almost
They
too
them
much
girls.
to handle. Almost
Too hot to handle.
too spicy, really. And sometimes you just gotta say YOLO.
Because you're thirsty for them.
Because
I
did pretty good.
These are all aespa songs, by the way.
Yes.
For the uninformed.
Hold on tight.
What is a song you would recommend to somebody if they never heard aespa before?
Sure. Next level.
Yes.
Next level.
Just to give a different answer from you, because I would also say next level. I'd probably say spicy.
Okay.
The two hypest songs of the whole thing. So for good reason. Those songs are pretty incredible live.
Another one I would say, especially if you're like like coming into K-pop music, would probably be Hold On Tight, because it is in English.
Yes.
Which sometimes is a barrier.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just it gives you a good representation of like kind of what they sound like, even though it's set to a Tetris backdrop.
I think that heightens the experience, really.
It's really good. Like, it's a great song.
The Tetris song, yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't think you can really go wrong with many aespa songs. However, if you do listen to Dreams Come True, please know that the English was already there in the 90s, and it makes no sense, and it sounds a little weirdly sexual, but not really. But it's not aespa's fault.
I thought it was sexual.
I have no idea. I think it was... The 90s were, the 90s were a time where, like, they were just kind of pulling whatever sounded English that sounded kind of cool.
I have two things I want to say.
Yeah.
One is related to this. Okay, Dreams Come True.
Yeah.
Great song, by the way. I love the whole vibe of the song. It's very 90s, right?
Yes, it is.
Because it is a 90s song.
Yep.
You make me feel real good.
Do you want to upside down?
Do you want to upside down?
Yeah.
You make me feel real good again, right?
I think so.
Do you want to up and down?
Yep.
I'm just saying.
No,
it's
no,
clear
no.
what they're saying.
I know.
Maybe not aespa. Maybe they didn't know.
Yeah.
But like that's what the song is. I'm pretty sure. I'll find out.
Okay, we're gonna investigate. LEM'n'TEA investigative files.
Hell yeah, we are. Second thing,
Mm-hmm.
they did one of my favorite songs, which I really like.
Okay.
Which is Illusion.
Yes.
And I really like that song, one, because it sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
And two, because they do this like weird like slurp thing.
Yes, yeah. You really like that in songs too. You're like that for in Oh My God with
because
Soyeon.
it's so weird. It's very strange. Like, and then they just knock it out. Like, I don't know. Soyeon does it in
Oh My God.
No. Is that Oh My God? Yes, it is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She doesn't know
All
my
right,
God.
I'll leave. You can be the K-pop corner expert now.
I'm sorry. I got too big for my britches and I fucking jumped the gun there.
Was it too spicy for your heart?
It was too spicy for my heart.
But anyway, yeah, you really do like that
I like
sound
weird
effect.
sound effects.
Mm-hmm.
I have another example. I just can't remember exactly what it is, but if I remember it, I'll shout it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else for your aespa experience? 10 out of 10 would do it again.
I would definitely do it again.
I would say 9 out of 10 I would do it again, but in a chair. Like a folding chair.
Yeah.
Attached to the floor. Sitting.
You
or
just want to sit
standing.
down.
Or standing on my feet.
Not in a bar.
Yeah, not in a bar. I think the only other K-pop related thing I wanted to talk about was, because we talked about it the last episode, RM from BTS actually acknowledged the whole stupid Frank Ocean thing we talked about last time. And he was very nice and diplomatic about it and saying that like he didn't mean, and he never meant or means to like offend any person of any background, but that wasn't his intent with the song, so he's not apologizing, which I love. I think that's a great response.
You love when people don't take responsibility for their own actions, right?
Okay, that's not what I meant. I love that, like, because what is there to apologize for, you know?
I mean, we talked about this last time. When you write music or like when you write anything artistic, right? There's context to it that has to be taken into account when you talk about like whatever the art is.
Yeah.
So like if they say something like in Auntie Diaries where it seems offensive, there's a reason for it. Mm-hmm. And if there's not, that artist is just an asshole. Like they're just dumb.
Right. Yeah, it's like because there's context. We talked about this last time too, but like context really is it.
And he didn't do anything. He just posted a song. Yeah.
So I'll read part of what he was saying.
Go for it.
And I'm honestly surprised because this all came up, like we said too, because you know such and such apologized to Muslims or whatever was trending all over Twitter.
Right.
And it's kind of like a harsh reminder that like K-pop idols or any artist do. You know, they do have the ability to read the comments. And I think we all just think that it's like, especially K-pop Twitter is so fandom based that like what kind of K-pop artist would be crazy enough to like try to penetrate this crazy bubble that is the K-pop fandom Twitter. I'm not sure if it leaked out into other social media platforms and maybe he found out about it, but I was kind of surprised that he found out about it. So when he was addressing it, he said, you just keep telling me that I insulted a religion, but I didn't. There was no intention like that to purposely insult a religion. I respect every belief in religion. It's a song, okay? I'm not apologizing. I'm just saying I have my own soul. I'm 30 years old. Shout out to my fellow millennial. I can express my truth. Please, the word is the word. It is what it is. Please believe my words from myself. And he said it all in English. And he said that, I've heard that there's some problems and the noise is all around. So I just have to say that about this because some people keep chatting about me. I didn't want to say this, but some people make me say this. So like,
some people
like just, you know, the loud, rowdy, misunderstanding fans. And I can understand they've been in the industry for like, I think it's now 10 years. And so that's a long time to be putting up with stuff like this and to keep your mouth shut. But he's, you know, a whole ass adult and
he's 30 years old.
Yeah. And he should be able to speak his mind when he wants to. Obviously, like that's a quarter of what he really wanted to say. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like he really wanted to expound on it more, but you kind of have to tread that like careful line with being an idol still and everybody watching everything you do. But I like his stance where he pretty much said what we had said before too, and that it's just a song, and I guess essentially that the lyrics were meant not in a way that was going to insult religion anyway, but even if that was the case, that's not what his intent was by reposting the song. And he wasn't apologizing, so good for you, RM.
There he goes.
Yeah.
Very, very, very cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Just taking no accountability.
Okay, wow. God.
Jeez.
Oh, all right, well, are you going to be dressing up as an army for Halloween?
An army?
Yeah.
No.
The fans?
No.
Are you going to dress up as an army anti?
Army anti?
Yeah. Antis are anti-fans.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, sorry. I'm just throwing out casual.
Like, oh, I've never heard of an anti-fan.
No. Yeah, an anti-fan. There's different degrees of fans.
If I was an army anti-fan, how would I look?
I don't know. You would just like be holding up a lighter with a picture of BTS.
Okay.
As an army anti.
Permission to dance, permission to die.
Oh my god. So anyway, we don't mean this, by the way. Maybe I'll speak for myself.
We want to kill BTS.
Whoa. Okay, we don't. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. But anyway, songs are songs, and don't expect foreign artists to know the intricacies of every foreign song, really. It's like how we jam up to K-pop songs, and they could really... It's the case with a lot of J-pop, like from YOASOBI or Ado or somebody, where it's like happy and fun, and it's really like, I'm depressed, I want to die. So... Yeah,
this shit hits.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's really funny that it's become that... One of those songs have become, like, TikTok popular. People doing happy dances to them, and Japanese people being like,
I'm depressed.
That's a song about depression, right?
I'm really depressed.
Clearly not. So anyway, I was surprised he addressed it, and I'm happily surprised that he didn't apologize for it, because he didn't have anything to apologize for. And that also sets a precedent too. Like, if he were to apologize for something like that, like other little things like that, people would be calling for apologies for. So
I mean, we've talked about this kind of stuff like before, so I'm not really going to get into it.
Yeah.
But like when there's a reason to apologize, you obviously do it and take into consideration what you've done, and then just move on.
I mean, and he did that too, because like he said he respects all religions as well.
No. And what I'm saying is in this instance, there's nothing to apologize for.
Right.
So like it becomes an issue if you start apologizing for everything that everyone gets outraged over.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand how time works, like, or like they don't understand context, or like shit that you said, I don't know, 15 years ago that you no longer say now.
Yeah.
Like,
imagine having to apologize for everything you said like 15 years ago when you were like some dumb teenager exploring the internet and like casually throwing out the R word, like literally almost everybody else at that time. So
exactly.
It was just a call. It's like when we talked about this last time too, but the Judy Garland thing too. You have like context matters so much, and we can't crucify people for things that were normalized in a certain period of time.
Yeah.
Like if you still are doing blackface and say the R word now, you're kind of scummy. Well, more kind of in one aspect and very in another aspect. But it's because it's not normal now, because we have context for the past that we don't want to repeat it because it reflects a bad, period of time as far as how we looked at certain people who are different from us.
Correct.
But you can't be like, in 2023, Judy Garland would be canceled because A, she's dead, and second of all, it didn't take place in 2023, so context matters.
Yeah, she didn't just start doing that like, oh, wow, I'm just going to
be edgy.
I'm just going to be crazy Judy right now.
Crazy.
I'm putting on my crazy face. Here we go.
But anyway, that's the end of my K-pop corner.
All right, and it ended with Judy Garland for some reason. And
I know.
That's a good. No, that makes sense though.
Like, does it? I feel like a full circle, weird
sense.
Full circle moment.
Judy Garland is the antithesis of K-pop. She's an anti.
Okay.
All right.
Sure. That's the theory we're throwing out for today, all right?
Fuck BTS.
Okay, no. Please stop saying that. They're going to come after us. I like BTS too, so. I do.
Good.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday.
Really?
7 days a week. Mm-hmm.
7 days a week?
Yep.
Wow. Night after night.
Yeah.
Okay. That song is entirely a song that should not have an explicit version.
Oh my gosh.
It's so fucked.
Did we say this last time? I don't
We've
remember.
said it like so many times. It's
On
just
the
not
podcast?
good. He shouldn't be able to curse.
Well, that's contextual too. It's like, did there need to be a curse?
No.
Yeah.
Especially since like the video, it doesn't make sense. The video is kind of like a. It's a person who like is in love with somebody, right?
Mm-hmm. And there's implications already in other lyrics that aren't literally like, we're gonna bone every day, every hour, every minute. We're gonna bone, because it's implied in other ways in the lyrics. Yeah. So then it kind of just takes all pretense out.
And that's basically what it was. It's just him basically listing how many days, and they're all consecutive of the boning.
But it could also just
the
be
bone zone.
Yeah, it could be on the surface of love, and then underneath, you decipher it. Really, does he need to spell it out for you along with saying every day of the week? I think not.
Does he need to say the fuck word? I think not.
The fuck word.
I think not, and he should never do it again.
So anyway, now that we're done with the K-pop corner, I want to talk about, not in detail, but because your kids, they have unique names, I think, I would say.
Yes.
They're not super unique because the Social Security Administration has released 2022's unusual baby name list.
Okay.
And I did look, and neither of your kids' names are on there. So.
Wow. You see how much of a fucking like unoriginal, like untalented.
So let's talk a little bit about this too, because you guys had thrown names out there.
We did.
One of them.
We use an app.
One of them, along with other parents who did end up going this route, being for your daughter to be named Daenerys. Yeah. Ashley really was wanting that for a bit, because she said, like, and then you can shorten it to Danny. And we were like, just name her Danny. Just name her Danielle or something then. It's just not, it's never good to do a name after
a character.
A character that you don't know the staying power of. Yeah. Like, there's certain characters out in the world, like, I don't know, I think people are naming their babies Elvis or something now. And Elvis was a name, obviously, that existed before Elvis Presley, but it's got, like, kind of staying power now where it's, like, vintage and not as kooky. Like, if you were to name your kid Elvis in, like, the 90s, maybe it would be considered a little strange, but maybe now it's, like...
Elvis.
It's quirky. But yeah, no, I'm really glad you guys did not go with Daenerys.
A character.
Daenerys is also, like, character names are more for, like, pets, I think. Most like modern characters that have, like, different special names.
Yeah, you can do that with pets. I mean, people do that all the time. They'll like name their cat like Simba or things like that. So,
but Daenerys is actually not on this list. So this list is
oh my goodness. The most unusual ones.
Unusual ones, and this list reflects names given to fewer than 10 babies born. So okay. Do you want to try to take a guess at any? I guess either gender.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get any of these. If they're that unusual, I just don't have like that.
Okay, well, I'll give you a hint for one of them. Okay. One of them's a Disney princess. Like, think of the Disney princess that you would least want, like, that you would least name your child.
Okay, let me think.
Because, I mean, they have normal names, too. Like, I'm going to tell you now, like, Belle and Ariel and Tiana are not on this list. It's a different Disney princess.
I'm trying to think. God, how come I can't remember any of them?
Just think of all your wife's, like, Disney princess
I'm trying. Shit. So it's not Ariel, it's not Belle, it's not like...
a normal name. I won't have you guess anymore after this, I promise.
I don't know.
All right.
Wait. Wait. I'm having a comeback.
Okay, brain blast.
Think.
Okay, well, I don't think Jimmy Neutron fucking hit himself in the face.
You didn't see it because he went into his mind.
Oh my god.
All right, you didn't see what was going on behind the scenes of Jimmy Neutron.
All right, guess your princess. Oh god. What?
Merida?
No.
She's a princess, right?
She's a princess.
Okay.
All right, was that your guess?
Yeah.
Okay, no, it was Cinderella.
Who would ever name
Apparently 9 or less parents to their children.
Cinderella? Wow.
Because it's like, oh, it's probably the same thing. It's like, oh, we can short it to Ella. It's like,
Yeah.
just name her Ella.
Ella.
Or Stella or something that isn't Cinder. Like, oh yeah, let's pick the princess who was in poverty being abused by your stepmother and dowdy as hell. It's like, oh, I want that for my daughter.
I think that's because in the German tale, her name was Aschenputtel or something like that.
That doesn't make it much better.
No, but I'm saying, like, I think they just kind of, like, directly translated it.
Oh, yeah,
Just
they
like,
did. But
boop.
it's also, like, of any Disney princess. I don't know. Not one.
Belle has a pretty normalized name. I mean.
Yeah, no, most of them do. I mean, and I don't know much about Chinese names. I'm not sure if Mulan is, like,
Was Snow White her name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Snow White's not on this list. Maybe next year.
Okay.
All right, so girl names. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
So we got Cinderella, Minnow.
Minnow like the fish?
Yeah, like the fish.
Okay.
Banksy.
Banksy like the painter?
I guess, because, like, why else would
The
Banksy
fuck?
come up? Joyous.
That one's not too, like, unusual.
Yeah. Okay. Greenlee, but it's spelled Greenleigh.
I knew you were going to say it.
It's like the most, like, Midwesterner way of spelling any Lee. Bailey,
is-
Carly, Everly.
So, what was it? Greenlee?
Greenlee.
Okay.
Delight.
Okay.
Which I'm sorry, that sounds like a stripper name.
Delight does.
It just sounds like an exotic dancer name.
Bring to the stage.
Delight.
Delight.
Katniss. I didn't know we were still naming characters after Hunger Games. Our babies after Hunger Games characters.
Who?
Katniss was the main girl in the Hunger Games.
Okay.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence. Okay.
Which I'm sure. I'm
J-Law.
wondering if that. Yeah, J-Law. I'm wondering if that came up as like less than 10 because there's not many people named because the Hunger Games was at least 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe more people were naming their kids Katniss.
People were naming their kids Katniss back then, right?
Yeah, which
Like
I
back
guess
when it came out.
I don't know. I think it's only just weird in the sense that it's like you're naming your daughter after this character that almost gets murdered and has to murder other teenagers. Like, it's very, very strange. Skylark. Like Chip Skylark.
Chip Skylark, man.
Skylark. I hope that they were twins and that
Vicky.
they had a brother and their name was Chip, and so the twins' names were Chip and Skylark.
Skylark.
Bronte.
Like Bjork.
Bronte, after my least favorite author on the planet, Charlotte Bronte. I have a bone to pick with her. She's dead. I won't drudge her up for Twitter content and try to cancel her, though.
Damn it.
Sparkle, another stripper name.
Sparkle.
Menorah.
Wow.
How do you feel as a 3% Jewish person to hear that people are using the name menorah? The sacred religious item.
I feel like I have no standing whatsoever on any of these 3% to feel any way.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Okay. Elegance. Canary.
Coal mine.
Evermore.
Everglow.
Forever, let's go. Horizon. Bethlehem. Really getting into like this religious.
Is Bible shit?
Huh?
Bible shit.
Yeah, pretty much. Chai, which isn't too bad, I guess, by
Chai.
comparison of all the other ones. Brilliance. I feel like you're also setting your like. What if your kids like scores really shittily on their SATs? Like, then you get made fun of forever. I remember this Hell's Kitchen season where there was a woman whose name was Lovely, and every time she did something wrong, Gordon Ramsay would go, "Lovely," and she'd go, "Yes, chef," and he'd go, "It's not." Every time. You're just setting yourself up for that, or your child up for that.
You're not.
But it's the parents' fault. It's like that one time when Raven Simone was like, "I wouldn't want to hire someone who's named Watermelon Drea." It's like, that's not that person's fault. That's literally not. They didn't choose that name for themselves. Like, that's
Watermelon Drea.
Yeah.
I remember her saying that. Yeah. She got a lot of shit for that.
Yeah, because it's not the kid's fault.
It's not.
Fauna, Ibiza, Strawberry, Bardot.
What is happening? Okay.
Winter Rose as one name. Pearly and Willoughby.
Willoughby.
We have Australians who would be proud of that name. So those are all the girl names that had less than 10 kids' names.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just girls. Boys. Barley.
Dragon. Dragon's cool, though.
That is cool, but again, that's like such high expectations.
Holy shit.
Like, what if your kid's a wimp? I don't know. Beacon, which I feel like there's like kids named Deacon or whatever. So I guess
it's like Deacon, but with a B.
Yeah. Ludwig. I have to wonder if those people watch Ludwig. Like, I can't think of any other reason why.
It's weird.
Alchemy. Daytona. Clever. Again, setting your kid up for failure.
Clever.
Ontario. Like the Canadian.
No, I know where.
Province.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Cosmos with an S. Fender.
At the fucking.
Please insert.
I was going for the guitar company.
Oh yeah. Oh right, yeah.
That was good too. I am Fender.
Gilead.
Okay.
Cotton. Which sounds like a southern name. That's
Cotton.
100% a southern name.
Cotton Hill.
Valiant. Rooster.
Rooster Cogburn.
Cerulean. Barnaby. That's actually an old name that's come back around.
Holy shit, Barnaby.
So that's not really weird. It's just, it's just different. Chaos. When you birth a child, you spend 9 months growing this child, right? Like, when do you look at it and go, chaos?
I would if my last name was Control.
Ooh, that's true. Ruckus. Again, same thing.
Uncle Ruckus.
No relation. Crash.
Sorry, that was good.
Thanks. I love the Boondocks.
Yes. Crash.
Forbes. High expectations.
Why the fuck would you ever name your kid for like?
Okay, how about this one? Awesome.
Okay. I hate that.
Lancelot.
That's cool.
And there's 2 states. Do you want to guess the 2 states?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay. States. Fuck. I know states.
I asked
states.
you about Disney princesses.
Montana.
No.
Fuck.
Guess one more state.
Okay.
One of them is your favorite state.
No fucking way. My favorite state was Florida?
No. I misled you. It's not
my
really.
favorite state, huh?
Yeah. It's actually your least favorite. Utah.
Oh my god. People name their kids Utah?
Yeah, and then the other one was Texas. Which again is 100% a Southern parent's choice. That is 100%. Nobody's up in Michigan being like, I'm going to name you Texas.
You're going to be Texas.
Yeah.
Walker, Texas.
So anyway, you wanted to give your kids unique names. I think you did, but you didn't name them Willoughby or Winter Rose or Awesome.
No, we just named
or
them
Utah.
Sonic and Tails.
Yeah. So rare they didn't even come up on. Oh, they weren't born in 2022. Never mind. But anyway, I wanted to share because I feel like there was this meme picture that might still be going around, but it was like this blonde woman who had like this like chalkboard of names, and it was literally just like combinations of like Sky and like Lee and Lay and R, like AR or whatever. And it was like, you're literally just picking whatever, like, with no consideration other than I want my child's name to be unique. And as a unique child name, I understand, but like, it's also a real name.
In the context of a Puerto Rican household, my name is not unique.
Mm-hmm.
But in the context of everyday American society, it is.
White Massachusetts.
White. Yeah.
The spelling is.
Yes, it is.
Especially. What's the worst spelling of Lewis to you?
Lewis.
Lewis.
That's like the nerdiest one.
Lewis.
It's already a very nerdy name, but like, it's the worst.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're getting into like. Yeah, it's 5 letters, just like the other spelling of Lewis with the O.
Yeah.
But you're adding an E, just be all fucking extra. E for extra.
E for extra.
W.
W for Y.
For why the fuck are you going to the end of the alphabet, bitch? Keep it close.
Right? Yeah.
Why?
Keep it short and sweet.
But yeah, it's the worst.
It's Lewis.
Lewis.
Like that one, you just had to say like that.
How many variations of your name are there?
A lot.
Really? Because I only know of 2.
So there's Tory, which is mine. Tori, Torrey, Torrey, Torri,
Oh wow.
Torry, Torre. There's a lot.
Damn. Okay.
There's a lot.
Accounting for that. So there's a shit ton.
I went to school with a kid who had the Irish spelling, which was Torrey.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot. There's just a lot. I'm looking them up now.
Yours is the best
I think so too.
way to spell it.
Though there's some spellings with A, like Toary.
Are you able to pick a worse spelling?
I did. Now I saw ones with A. There's one that's Tory, but with the EIGH at the end.
I knew that was gonna come up.
It's spelled Toareigh.
Oh my god.
Tory.
That's crazy.
So I guess that one, I was gonna say Torri because why did you need the extra R? That's stupid. But this is especially stupid. So anyway, like there's a difference between wanting to name your kids something unique and also wanting them to not get picked on in school. That's all. And I don't condone bullying, but also like do not name your kid Awesome and then be sad when people are making fun of his name.
Guess you're not so awesome, huh?
Yeah,
Boom. I'm gonna beat you up.
Jesus. Speaking of school,
what about school?
I wanted to spend some time because we've kind of discovered over time hanging out and just shooting the shit that like we had very oddly similar like experiences in school and just kind of like growing up in general that I don't think are super common.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
The one that came up recently was teachers telling us that we didn't hold our pencils the right way.
Yeah,
and
I
making
didn't.
us use these godforsaken pencil grips that look like earplugs. I still can feel it. I can feel the squishy, like, oh my god.
Yeah, they were squishy in like the worst way. Yeah, they were.
So there were a few different kinds. So I don't know which ones you used or if you used all of them. So like
the ones that I used they kind of felt, there was a couple, like you said, one of them, one kind was kind of like very jelly.
Yeah.
So like it was very like slick.
Mold. Oh, yeah. Was it like a longer one?
Yeah. And then the other one was just kind of like a
nub earplug.
Kind of like a nub earplug or like one of those stress balls, you know?
Oh, I never got those.
Yeah.
But I used to like, so the other ones that I remember are these foam ones. They like little leg warmers for pencils, and you could like roll them.
Yeah.
I would do that all the time, and I would use that as like a pencil grip, like just to be a butthead or something. It's like
I had a purple one of those.
Yeah, so I've used all of them, and then the little nub ones, the earplug ones, had like your thumb goes here and this finger goes here, and it felt so unnatural. I hated it.
It still does, and like I was very bad at handwriting as a result because I didn't hold it correctly, probably.
Yeah, same here.
So,
take that, society.
Hey, we did it wrong. But like I remember sitting down because like when I was in kindergarten or like first grade or whatever, we had to write, and I was not very good at writing. And I remember like practicing with my mom, like how to hold it, like how to do the letters, like having the paper with all those lines so that way you could like tell where you had to be writing. Yeah. And then like I wrote a letter E. But I did it like, I don't know, either like backwards
you
or
showed
something.
me. Yeah.
And my mom was like, "Oh my god, like he's
different." Oh no.
What have we done?
What have we done?
It's my fault.
How could I have done this to her? How could I have been so cruel?
How could I have been so cruel? But yeah, like I did it upside down or like backwards, but it still came out looking like an E. I just didn't do it right.
Which is why I think that whole thing was so, like, I guess it kind of makes sense when it's in your early years or you're just starting to learn how to write, but like, but also at the same time, it's like, if I am following along just fine and my letters are coming out the same way as the teachers, it's like, do I really need to hold it the right way? Like, who's it affecting?
Yeah.
Will I like
Nobody.
develop some sort of like claw hand or something if I don't hold my pencil the right way? Like, are my fingers gonna get stuck like this? Probably not. So yeah, I don't remember how it even came up for me as well. I was already in like speech therapy classes, so maybe it came up that way somehow. But I don't remember. They also thought it would make me write better if I like wrote at an angle, so they would take like an empty binder and like use that as like with the fattest side up and it tilting down, and for me to write that way.
Yeah, I know
it didn't do anything. It did literally not. Like, I still don't understand it. Like, I don't, like, what was this binder supposed to do? And then I was like, okay, now you keep that in your desk. And it's like, it's an empty binder. What purpose does this serve? It doesn't help anything. I get mad now thinking about it. I haven't thought about that for years.
I don't think we had a binder, but we had like some sort of like wooden,
like slope thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that way you could write at an angle. Like it had like a little.
Did that help you at all?
No.
Okay.
No.
You made it sound much more luxurious than my empty binder, so I was like,
yeah, mine wasn't an empty
helped.
binder. So mine was pretty great.
Oh, okay.
No.
Good stuff.
I don't think it did anything. But I also had the same problem like in 5th grade because like it was the first class I had ever failed, and I was so like distraught to bring my report card to my mom.
Oh, yeah.
Because she was gonna see that I failed. It's not called a handwriting. It's called
penmanship.
Penmanship, right?
Oh, is that what you failed?
Yeah. Yeah, I failed it because I don't
think we got graded for that in 5th grade.
My writing was like, it was just very hard to read.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then that's a problem because at least if you're holding it the wrong way, as long as it's still legible, they can't be like, actually that's wrong. But my handwriting is also crap. Like, it's not great. Yeah. It's better than my dad's though, and I would argue that it's better than my brother's. But I was always jealous of girls who were able to do like those very like flowy, loopy letters and stuff, very bubbly, and like. I tried for a long time. Me too. And then I just said I give up, and I just drew those like S's instead. You know what? You can either in elementary school, high school, whatever, middle school, you can either do one of two things. You can write those nice flowy letters that look great and are very legible, or you can draw that fucking S that everybody drew. What I don't even know what it's called. There's probably some internet lore about it of like the origins, because that I swear that existed like in our parents' time or something. I think it might have. And it's still just everlasting today, which I think is great. It's always like some kids, like you said, that like just tells you about it. Yeah, you never learn from like, I looked at, well, now maybe this day and age kids could be like, I saw it on TikTok. But for me, it was never like, I found out on my own. It was always some kid who was like, want to learn some cool thing? Hey, want to see something real neat? Come to my desk. I'll show you. Oh my God, is that an S? How did you do it? Okay, get ready for this. And then they connect the tops, and it's like, oh my God, it's an S. It looks so cool. And it was always associated for in my time with like new metal bands like Linkin Park or something. Like people would always just draw those like little, because I guess they looked industrial. I don't know. I'm not sure why, but we used to call them surfer S's. Okay. I don't know what we called them. There must be some official name on the internet somewhere, but for sure. Yeah, no, those pencil grips were horrible. They were bad. Yeah. We also had a respective speech problems. Yeah. Growing up. Which is oddly cool because I'm like, nobody knows the trouble I've seen or whatever. Yeah. So I have this is not like an online diagnosis thing. This is an actual diagnosis from a doctor. I have a receptive disorder, and that makes it which the wording to my parents were, it's a receptive disorder that can lead to a comprehension disorder, which is funny because it's like, well, if I'm not receiving it, of course I'm not comprehending it. So it's sort of like you don't need to tack on the second disorder because it's kind of like the result of the first one. Yeah. Which basically just means like, I don't know, my brain, I hear someone talking, but I don't process what they're saying right away. And because I guess it does lead to comprehension. So because of that, I also don't say it. Like I'm saying it the way that I think it's being told to me. So I would speak in like 2 or 3 word sentences, if that, or like just one word. And so from preschool to either first or second grade, I was in speech therapy. I always felt guilty about it too, because like I could talk fine if I talked, and everybody else was like, they had like severe lisps and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know if I really need to be here. Like if I just could understand people better, like I'd be fine. And these kids actually need help.
Yeah.
So like, I don't really need to, I shouldn't be taking this spot on the sped bus. I was one of them. I can say sped. So yeah. So anyway, so what, yeah. And your,
no. I was going to ask,
yeah.
do you still feel any sort of repercussions from that? Or did the therapy kind of just, because it never just 100% takes it away. Like,
I think it's just that I learned to speak more. Like I eliminated the comprehension part. I still feel like that to this day, but I hate using that sort of thing as like a fallback. Like
same.
Like, can you say that again? I couldn't understand you because of my receptive disorder. Like, and it wasn't even up until a couple years ago
Nobody
that I
would
was
fault you for it though. You realize that, right?
No, yeah. I don't know. I don't like using it as a fallback. I like to try to just figure it out on my own. Without that sort of attachment of it. And I haven't even thought of having this disorder until a couple of years ago. Like I kind of forgot for the last 15 years. And then I remembered, oh yeah, that is why I have trouble understanding people. It's nice that there's a logical reasoning to it, but at the same time, it's like, I don't want to use this as like my excuse, even though it's like a valid excuse. But, and I don't remember too much about speech therapy, actually. I know there was a lot of flashcards and making us talk, because that was the point.
Yeah.
And like lip exercises, like trilling your lips or something to kind of like loosen up your mouth or whatever. We did that in chorus class too. And
yes.
it works for not feeling like you're so stiff in what you're saying, but also it was always fun as like a 6-year-old to be like, like all the time. Perfect. This is in school. I won't get in trouble for just doing this. Did I catch you off guard?
Yeah.
So
because you had said trilling, and I'm like, oh, she's not gonna do it, so it's fine. And I was not. I was ready for the.
Yeah. And it was fun, and it was like, haha, it makes my lips tingle. It's funny.
It is. It's great.
So anyway, what was your experience for your speech and everything?
Yeah, I had a pretty prominent stammer.
Mm-hmm.
One that I still have today, but like I worked pretty hard at like not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I take a lot of time to like say what I need to say.
Yeah.
And like pause if I need to pause and not feel so rushed. It can be hard because like the way that I can describe it is my brain is thinking of an idea, right? Or something I want to say. And I've thought of it, but I cannot get my mouth to say it fast enough. And that trips me up.
I feel like it's the opposite problem for me, where it's like I'm still kind of trying to process what was being said, and I say something that has fuck all to do with anything. It is literally, and people are like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, oh, you said like, and it's like it's like my brain is Internet Explorer and my mouth is Google Chrome, and it's like, oh yeah, I didn't need to say anything about like, I don't know, whatever, because you didn't even talk about that. So that's interesting that yours is kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah. So it's like my mouth can't keep up with what my brain is trying to do. And if I get excited or like if I want to say something quickly or like be like quick-witted, it's harder for me because I have to struggle against that. And it sucked. And it didn't really happen until I was like, I don't know, first or second grade.
Oh, okay.
And then I was in speech therapy classes for about 2 years.
Okay.
And
do you feel like those helped you?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think they probably helped more than not.
Yeah.
They obviously like there's no curing it. So you just kind of have to work against it. I struggle to this day to like say certain things. There are certain letters I just have to avoid like almost entirely, or like work around it because I can't. I just can't say them, and it sucks because like I have a whole lot of things that I want to say, and it's hard to not be able to always say them.
Yeah.
So it gets tough.
Have you ever laid in bed at night and hours after a conversation you think of a witty reply?
Yep.
All the time.
Yep.
I hate it. I'm like, shoot, I should have said that. And now it doesn't matter because it's 7. It's like that happened at 7 a.m. and now I'm going to bed.
It's literally an episode of Seinfeld. It's exactly like that.
So horrible.
But yeah, it just sucks because, and I'm just like you. I'm not trying to like make this an excuse or anything like that. I've never have. But it can be tough to try to verbalize things and not be able to. At the same time, I always wanted to do things that were like kind of performance-y. So it's kind of weird in that
Me too.
regards. Like I just wanted to do things like I was in chorus for 2 years, and it was great. I loved it.
I think that what for both of us, what chorus is good for is, or even like theater stuff, that you're given lines that you have to rehearse and perfect.
Sure.
So you don't have to worry about like your brain understanding it or like you not being able to get it on the first try because you're practicing it so much. I think maybe that's part of it, and maybe part of why I liked music so much.
That makes sense.
As a kid, so.
Yeah, I definitely had an outlet in that. Like, I've always been into either music or like wanting to sing or like do things like that, like my entire life. Yeah. And I think it did help me, and so did like maybe wanting to do things that were like more improv-y or just kind of come up with shit. Like I really like to do that because it forced me to think on the spot, and that made me faster. Yeah. When I was trying to speak.
Okay.
You know.
Pushing yourself past, which is like for what you had to overcome anyway, like a little huger than what other people who maybe are just wanting to be more quick-witted would have to go through to do improv. So
yeah, this is in no way saying that like I'm this or that. I just it's tough, and it can be tough, and it is something like we said at the beginning, it just isn't something that doesn't, like, it's not going to go away. Yeah. There's always going to be some sort of...
Just have to work a little harder.
Yeah. There's always some sort of reminder.
Yeah. Like, I find myself, I feel like when I talk, I kind of have, like, a natural sort of slur. So I feel like I have to, like, over-enunciate a lot of words.
Yeah, I do too.
And I feel like a newscaster.
Yeah.
Like with that stupid newscaster accent.
Today.
Yeah. And I feel like in my head I'm like, I'm saying this word like way too like not naturally, like but nobody says anything, so in my perception back, my feedback from people not giving feedback, I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that's how you're supposed to say this word that I feel completely is not a natural way to say this word. It's weird.
I don't feel that way about you and how you speak, but I've thought that about myself a lot in the past. Just one, because like I remember this teacher that I had in 6th grade. She was a drama teacher, and she was always like, "You need to enunciate," and that's how awesome. She talked. Yeah. And she wasn't talking to me, but just in general to anyone who wanted to be on stage, was like, you need to enunciate.
And that's actually good. Because that, I mean, for theater, that's, you want that. The over enunciation.
It's weird that I wanted it, though, because, like, I've never been an outgoing person. Like, I'm introverted. Like, pretty much entirely.
Whatever your MBTI is, you're the I.
That's me. I got the I down.
And whatever
else I
don't
want to know the rest of it. I don't care.
Yeah. But anyway. It is interesting that you gravitated toward that. Yeah. It's weird that, it's weird for both of us that it's like, it's during school, and it's also like in front of your peers. Yeah. I don't know. The brain's very complex. I can rationalize it too a little bit, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, why did I like want to go for chorus solos when I'm like, introvert McGee? Like, it's weird.
And it's the same thing with me too, because like we had to try out for chorus. You like had to sing a line of a song or whatever, right? And we're all kids, so it's not like it's a hard tryout, but you still had to kind of sound good. And it's like, well, I did that. I was in it for 2 years, and it's strange because I was a shy kid. Like I'm a shy adult, so.
it might. I mean, that might like for the theater and auditioning, that might have to do with the fact that you're not the only one doing it as well.
Maybe.
I think there's some sort of like little hidden things about performance art that make it maybe seem even like more appealing to an introvert than an extrovert. The uniformity and the rehearsing of lines and stuff like that, and you're like, even if you have like a solo, you're like one with the crowd, the ensemble. So I think there's aspects to it that I never really thought about until like literally right this moment.
Good psychoanalysis, I'll tell you what.
Whew.
Good job.
And I mean, I don't really notice too much if you're like you have a stammer either, but if I do notice, I notice that you push through anyway, which I think is really important, instead of just like saying, whatever, never mind. Because that's the way that you have to kind of just have to push on with it. And you
word
can't,
by word, man.
Yeah, you can't just stop because you're having trouble, because that's unfortunately, it's not really how the world works. And it makes you uncomfortable to like, to struggle like that, but I think it's better to struggle and get through it than to give into the struggle.
I think you're right, but it also sucks sometimes. Like it just, like, especially when you're in the middle of it and it's like, I just want to move on from this. Like,
yes,
I just want to get this over with. I didn't even have, like, this wasn't even that funny. I just want to move on. And I don't know, your brain just won't let you do it because it doesn't let you do it.
I hate that. Yeah.
It just doesn't let you do it when
like,
you're stuck.
Nope, you can't move on. You have to do this.
Yep. Get through it, bitch.
Intrusive thoughts. When the intrusive thoughts win.
Ugh.
But yeah, no, so that whole aspect of how we had school was interesting too, where it's like, okay, now you have to go into the special class.
Yeah, we went to the library. It was like a room that was in the library. And we played a bunch of card games, flashcards, like you said.
Yep.
A lot of talking things, a lot of...
Did you trill also?
I don't remember if there was trilling or not, but I do remember we played a lot of War.
Oh,
like War, the card game.
Ours were all. I don't think it was War. But because it was all flashcards with words on them. But
yeah,
a lot of card games. Yeah, ours was in the guidance counselor's office at a certain time, twice a week. Me and like 3 or 4 other kids. I remember the name of one girl, her first and last name, which I won't say, and she had like the wickedest lisp, or not lisp, but it was like where kids like kind of talk like Bostonians and stuff, and they don't really say the R's and stuff. Or they like they like the R, like Elmer Fudd, like the R's and the W's and stuff.
It's like my kids.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not super severe. Like, I can understand. Some of them, it's like, I do not know what you're saying, like, for certain kids. So she was one of them. And again, that's where I felt bad, where it was like, I don't talk like that. Yeah. I just don't talk. Like, that's my...
So she sounded like Barbara Walters.
Did she have that kind of...
I think she did.
Rip the legend.
Rip the legend. Gang, gang.
Gang, gang. But yeah, no, I never knew another person who got pulled out of class, regular class, for speech-related reasons.
Yo.
Hey, kindred spirit, man.
Yeah, that was very...
that was very surreal to find out. When
that was weird because, like you, like I had never really met anyone else who had an issue like that, which is weird because you think... Like, I probably have, but, like, how many people actually talk about it?
Yeah.
So...
Well, also because it's like, it's not a physical... thing, and it's not like a behavioral thing. Like, I don't know, I feel like just comparatively on all like the spectrums of special education, we're pretty like low man on the totem pole as far as like a severity sort of thing, right? So you don't want to be like, oh yeah, I was on the little white van. I just didn't talk a lot. Like, what are you in for?
Man, and look at you now.
Did you ever ride on the short bus?
No, because we didn't take the bus. We walked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we walked.
That's where we differ. So yeah, I only took the short bus in preschool, but it's really great because back when like Hot Topic and Newberry Comics did like those edgy joke things, I bought a magnet from there. My mom has on her fridge still. It says my mommy says I ride the short bus because I'm special. And it's like, hey, truth in advertising. So, right. But I was in preschool. I remember this. And for it was a preschool I was in for 2 years. And for the first year it was fine. I was with younger kids and it was fine. Then some idiot decides, hey, you're 5, we're gonna put special ed high schoolers on your short bus.
That's crazy.
And they were like behavioral ones, and I'm like 5 years old, and I'm like, and I don't understand, like they're making loud noises or like thrashing around, and I'm like I'm freaked out, like, and I just told my mom, like, I don't want to ride the short bus anymore. Like, so it had nothing to do with the stigma. It was just like I was 5 and some stupid person decided, let's put some 17-year-olds on the bus. It's like, no, like, I don't know if it was like a cost saving thing, but I don't know. I remember being like,
that seems dumb. Like, that seems kind of wild to me. Like, I don't even know if that would happen today.
And even with because I had a comprehension disorder. So even with my mom explaining like they couldn't help it and stuff, I'm 5 and I don't understand much. So it's like,
my kids would be the same way.
Yeah. And so I understand now, obviously, as an adult, it's like those kids can't help it. But also, would I want my like 5 or 6-year-old to go on a bus with high schoolers who needs like kind of special care like that? Probably not.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because
especially where mine, like I said, it's not behavioral, so they're not even the same plane of like special care. So yeah, it's my short bus story. I had one blissful year and a couple frightening months, and then I just like took the bus like everybody else.
Like, you know what? I'm gonna start talking to get out of here.
But yeah, so I don't know. I always wondered if my difference in writing was also tied into my difference in speaking, but I feel like, I mean, they're two different things, but I had like the same, like with the pencil grips and stuff, like if that's related to like the
I thought so,
but I don't know how, because like how does one relate to the other? But at the same time, I've got the same aide was helping me with my speech now, saying you gotta hold your pencil like this and put their fingers there, and look, it's a tie-dye blue and your favorite color. It's like, that's great, my fingers feel weird.
That's great, I hate it.
Yeah. Oh, I threw away my grips afterward, like after a couple of years. I really did try, but like I was just not comfortable.
I've never had good handwriting, so it doesn't matter.
No, yeah, me either. Also, those pencil grips, the thin foam ones, those sucked, because I would be trying so hard to keep my, like, I'm already uncomfortable, and then like when my fingers pressed hard against it didn't cushion anything.
No,
I hated it.
Those were awful.
But then the jelly, like the squishy
jelly
ones
were fun, at least.
They were fun. Yeah, but you get distracted by them. Which, teachers, if they are attending to you specifically and their eyes are just on you, they're going to notice that you're just like, it's squishy.
Squish, squish.
Yeah. So then they give you the boring earplug looking ones with.
Here, this one sucks. You can have this one.
You couldn't handle the squish one, so now you get the not fun one.
You've got to work your way up to the squish one, okay?
So, somewhat related to all of that, I read this article about how popular subtitles have become.
Ooh, the New York Post.
I know, it's the New York Post.
What a
I'm sorry.
Great fucking publication.
No, it's cited from. I can find another one.
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
They're not the greatest. I understand, but it's from research that's been done, and it's how, like, the demographic of people who are using subtitles now, and they're finding that where they used to be for hard of hearing, now they are. It's a UK captioning company that New York Post is citing. Okay. So it said 80% of people aged 18 to 25 use subtitles all or part of the time. And I see like those like haha quirky shirts or buttons that are like, I can't hear, my subtitles aren't on. But there's really truth in that. Like and you pick up so much more when
with the subtitles.
Yeah. And I know your wife does that. Although
she's hard of hearing.
She's but
she does.
But I still like the subtitles, and I've found for like some Netflix shows, even when the ones that go overboard with like sound effect like descriptions, like squishy footsteps or something weird, I don't know, like, I mean, it's obviously primarily like meant for hard of hearing, not because I want, I just want to know things, but also harkening back to my receptive thing, there's things I miss in dialogue. Like I still remember one part in the Barbie movie where everybody laughed and I didn't catch what was said, so I didn't know what was going on, and I was like, I'm not in on the joke. So I really like subtitles because I'm like in on everything.
Completely 100% agree with that. I think you do catch a lot more. You kind of get a lot of the like the context or like the subtext of things sometimes. Really good for that. Another thing that kind of relates back to the whole like speech thing that we talked about. I have a hard time. I've always had a hard time with lyrics.
Yes.
In the sense of like, I'll hear something and it's not the right lyric.
Yeah.
It's not even close to the right lyric. Maybe it's close, but it's like, God, how did I think this was the lyric?
Yeah.
So
we've talked about that many times, and it still happens today.
It does.
It happened yesterday with aespa. Because we thought the lyric was check it out, because it sounds like check it out. And it
sounds like check it out.
I mean, that's a difference between languages, because it's Korean. It's the Korean word for beat it. So it's like chikura or something, which sounds...
Check it out.
I have to think that they picked that on purpose to sound like that.
Probably.
But yeah, no, shout out for K-pop, shout out to color-coded lyrics. And
the goats.
For English lyrics, shout out to Genius. The goats. Like, those are the only ones I really feel are like valid and reputable, and because YouTube music, they kind of just pull lyrics from whoever, and they don't. I was listening to a song by a K-pop group, and the song was called "Someone Like You," and they pulled the lyrics from Adele's "Someone Like You."
Oh, they got that shit wrong.
So I don't. It's weird how they pull that, but yeah, no, the lyric. Oh, God, I love it. I miss. I know they still sell CDs,
booklets.
obviously, but
the booklets.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. They sell CDs. So they may still have lyrics like on those booklets, but like I really do.
I remember like cracking open one of those things and like reading along with it as the music would play. That's always a cool thing.
So then it's like, I'm 100% sure that these are what they are.
These are what the lyrics are. I'm never going to say hot dogs instead of heart goes on again.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
For fucking Celine Dion.
Yeah. Hot dogs go on.
Oh. I was 7, man. I was 7.
Yeah. So I do find that I hear better with captions on.
Yes.
Because you really do just like, you can't catch everything. And then there was something in this article also that said that part of the reason. Oh, yep.
It's the mixing.
Yes. Yep. Is the sound mixing. How the like some streaming companies haven't put the money down to really get better sound mixing or whatever. And I guess there was a problem also that people had with some of the later seasons of Game of Thrones for this reason. They said the sound mixing got worse.
Right.
Or for accents, shows that have that are from like England or Australia or whatever, that some accents are really thick, and you want to be able to get the context of everything. Like I remember something that came up a few years ago was this show, and it was like some espionage show, and there was this guy working for this like higher up who was a woman, and he was saying the word ma'am, but it sounded like he was saying mum because of his accent.
Mum?
So people thought that he like started some weird relationship with his mother because it sounded like he was saying mum. It was just some like
mum,
like different kind of British accent way of saying ma'am. So things like that. Context, very important.
Very important. For sure.
But I feel like that's also tied in for what we have experienced, and that subtitles are good at eliminating any sort of ambiguity, and I like them. That's really my whole point in this, and I guess I'm not alone because like 80% of the youth in the UK also feel that way. So
the youths
and the US. I guess the moral of the story is get better sound mixers or pay your writers. How about that? I guess we got to start small, but
start at the writers.
We'll start with the writers, and the sound mixers we will we'll catch you.
Yeah,
catch
because
you
a lot of dialogue is like either on TV or in movies is like it's like unintelligible.
Yes, yeah.
You cannot understand it. You can.
It's always funny too when the occasional subtitle comes up and it says that too. It's like your guess is as good as mine.
Fuck it, I gave up.
Yeah. And I also really appreciate YouTubers who do their own captioning.
It's very good stuff.
Yeah, YouTube does have its auto-generated captions to varying degrees of success.
Hit or miss, and there's barely any punctuation.
Oh no punctuation, because it's just a continuous. It's like news scroll kind of, but it's some of it's I can hear clearly what they're saying, and then the subtitle comes up and it's like, that is not it. I don't know where you got that from. That is not it.
Oh, man.
But they're trying, I guess. So good job, Neil. Thank you.
Neil Mohan.
Mohan.
Did you have anything else that you wanted to touch upon here?
Just that everybody works at their own pace, and you know, just because I don't want to kind of define how I talk or understand people by an actual diagnosed problem doesn't mean that that's something to be ashamed of. And you just sometimes people just have to work harder, unfortunately, but I feel like the harder work does pay off. Like I feel like you do feel better about yourself, pushing yourself, even if you're you know, horribly uncomfortable doing that. But that's my final thought. About you?
On that subject, yeah, I think it sucks, but it makes you stronger in a lot of regards, because I don't have the luxury of just speaking when I want to. I think about almost everything that I'm gonna say. Not always, but I mean, like I have this fear of like not being able to say what I want to say correctly. Yeah. So I have to like sometimes even thinking about saying something makes me so anxious to say it that like I will have an episode or whatever. And it does make me stronger in a lot of regards, because I kind of had to teach myself how to talk in a way that I can avoid my issues. Yeah. Or I can work through them. And it's hard work. And it sucks because you kind of have to always be on. Yeah. But I'm fine. Like, otherwise, I don't have any other issues, luckily. Yeah. And I think that as far as issues go, like, I can deal with it. Yeah. I'm strong enough to deal with it now. I wasn't when I was a kid, but now I'm good.
There you go. So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And then we did a podcast with exclusively speaking.
We did do that. Yeah.
Look how far we've come. Who would have thought?
You know what?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Look at us.
Look at us. On that note, I think we're heading toward the end. We are. So thank you for listening and or watching us overcome childhood anxieties every episode.
Every episode, wow.
Every 37 episodes.
We promise every episode will expose a new part
of childhood trauma.
Trauma.
Minus my short bus experience, it wasn't super. I mean, luckily it wasn't traumatic. So for me.
Whoa! Do I have some stories for you?
About this in particular, or just different traumas?
Do I have some stories for you?
We will maybe hear them next time and expound upon.
Maybe. If you want to hear more about Tory, you can go to youtube.com/azarathsflame, AZARATHSFLAMEE.
Every time. So good.
Yay. Or twitter.com/trippydes, TRIPPYDESU.
Come find me thirsting over Ning Ning. And blaming her for my sore throat. My throat hurt so bad today, man.
Is it better now at least?
Probably not after the 2 hours of talking we've just done, but it was.
Well,
so where I cannot talk, I will be typing. And so if you want to check out any of Lewis's stuff, go to, it is still Twitter. It's so funny when you send a link and it still says twitter.com. It's so funny.
It's like he
didn't think this through. Who'd have thought?
Right.
But anyway, twitter.com /Lumo and Twitch by the same name. All the socials are the same for him because you are very consistent and I am very not, with my 2 E's at the end of flame.
It's unique.
I'm so unique. I'm a Willoughby. I'm a Bardot.
Be your own Bardot. Okay.
BYOB. Be your own Bardot.
Be your own Bardot.
And if you want to check out our stuff together, it is LEM'n'TEA Podcast at both TikTok and Twitter. We are working ferociously at trying to get better TikToks for your viewing pleasure.
Oh yeah.
And consistently.
For your viewing pleasure.
And Twitter, where we're kind of just going down with the ship, I think, without having to pay for a stupid blue check mark.
I'm not paying for that, and also like there's no reason to advertise on Twitter because no one sees it and it goes
For those
nowhere.
who did see it and checked us out because of it, though, thank you. I do
Yes,
want to
thank
think
you.
that there are a couple, because I've seen the analytics of people, or like,
Uh-huh.
although a lot of them are also like related, like people who watch this on YouTube found this video related. Still don't understand how that works.
I
'cause
don't either.
There's some weird videos that I'm like, well, welcome.
Wow, I can't believe you found this from this video, but thank you.
Yeah. So thank you all.
It's much appreciated, and we that's gonna do it, right?
Yeah, help our subscriber count match our episode count.
37.
Maybe we'll reach our 40s by the end of the year.
Years stop coming, they don't stop coming,
And they don't stop coming,
and they don't stop coming. All right.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Good night.
Good night.